Indianapolis, Lucas Oil Stadium, the epicenter of the drum corps world tonight. Holy mackerel, what a finals we have had. The 2013 Drum Corps International Championship World-Class Finals. All the competing corps have done their thing, and what a thing it has been out here. People in their seats anxiously anticipating the finale, waiting for those scores. Highly anticipated scores. Need we say that with a little underscore? And Caption Awards coming as well. Steve Rondinero, Dennis DeLucia. Boy, are we tickled to be here tonight. Our first ever webcast, live and in color. You know, we haven't had finals live in any form since 2001.
Right.
So, we thank you for being a part of this pioneering activity. Also with us, Will Pitts, down on the sidelines. Will?
Guys, you know, we're used to finals night meeting great performances. That happens every year. But when you add in this element of such a close competitive finish, it just takes the anxiety level to a new place. My stomach's been in knots all night, and it's just going to get worse as we get through these scores.
And you can see the people in the stands. We had a great turnout here tonight. I think the competitive setting, Dennis, really energized a lot of folks. I talked to people coming in who said they watched the cinema show, they went to the movie theater, and they were so caught up in the excitement they had to be here tonight.
Well, this is one of the most knowledgeable and enthusiastic crowds I've ever been a part of. I mean, just wonderful. They know what's going on, they understand nuance, and they go nuts over the wow.
They do, and we've had a lot of wow. The corps are now starting to enter the field, and they will come in the order of appearance. First off, Blue Stars from La Crosse, Wisconsin. They were our 12th place finisher in the semis, and a show called Voodoo.
86.2 last night. They were 13th last year. Voodoo, Percussion, leading the way for these guys, finishing 8th last night. Wonderful baritone solo. A very, very exciting show.
And a big colorful finish. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm a scary witch doctor lady. A voodoo priestess. And here comes Spirit of Atlanta, Speakeasy. Their show, they took us back to the flapper era. Some wide open cranking horns and a lot of fun in that show. The Spirit of Atlanta seated 11th coming in.
11th with an 86.4. Speakeasy. Great, great piano samples throughout the show. Gigantic sound that we always expect and we've come to love from Spirit of Atlanta.
A lot of showmanship out here in this program tonight.
Some great dancing too. So good to see these guys back in finals, Steve, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. Lucas Oil Stadium is the place, and the retreat ceremony, as we used to call it, it's called the grand finale now. All the corps coming out in the order of appearance, streaming out of one tunnel at this point, so it takes a while. We'll get them streaming out of both tunnels at both ends, and pretty soon we'll have all 12 present and accounted for. As the night went on here, it just ratcheted up corps by corps. The excitement level just continued to tighten, Dennis.
It was great all night long, all week long, really, Steve.
Here come the Blue Knights from Denver, Colorado. Their show, no beginning, no end, although this finals week they surprised us Thursday night by putting an ending on the show.
Yeah, we really set it up based on what we saw last week in Allentown, and then they fooled us. But for a positive, very, very exciting ending.
Yeah, it was a great ending to that program. Music of Pat Metheny featured throughout.
Nice little tambourine ensemble, too, that they had in the show, and a wonderful color guard. Color guard led the way for them, finishing 7th last night.
Great color schemes on those flags. I think Will made the point earlier that they hit about every color in the band hall theme.
135 colors. It's not a joke. It's real. Another corps that's had a significant improvement even in the last couple of weeks.
The theme was life is a circular notion, basically. Everything goes round and round.
From Boston, Massachusetts.
And they've got the gray jackets back on, the Boston Crusaders do. That's how they start the show. Their program called Rise begins in the aftermath of a disaster, so they really come out in a monochrome color scheme. Quite effective.
9th last night, but they broke 90.0 exactly. The gray jackets are replicas of jackets that the then Senator John F. Kennedy gave to the Corps way back in 1959.
They peeled them off toward the end of the program, and you saw the familiar red jackets come out, which certainly got the crowd's attention.
Now I guess we can expect a little trick here in finals of the grand finale.
Another great color guard. Added a lot to the show visually.
Had a strange penalty Thursday night, Steve, for using baby powder as an effect.
It was a great effect. It created the dust in the aftermath of a disaster, but illegal substance, so they suffered a 1-point penalty. And they did not do it again after that. Okay, listen to that. That can only be an ovation for the Madison Scouts, who once again lit up the place tonight. They tied the Cavaliers in the prelims Thursday night. Cavies opened up a spread in the semis last night. Scouts came out full bore. You know, guys, and that seemed to strike me with these corps in the lower echelons tonight. Seemed like they opened up the volume knob just another notch and let it fly.
Oh, it's their last show. They were going for it, everyone.
And the Scouts, of course, when they open the volume notch, really get your attention.
Incredible horn line, incredible story. It's just so great to see this corps with such a strong identity.
Boy, when they hit You'll Never Walk Alone, and every member in the audience and every alum of the Madison Scouts stood up, oh, man.
I'm getting chills just thinking about it again.
It was unbelievable. It really was a moment.
Madison Scouts celebrating their 75th anniversary tonight. Quite the brotherhood with quite a proud history. Speaking of brotherhood, ironic that the two all-male corps back-to-back tonight as they were last night. The Cavaliers probably get the award for most improved. Their show, Secret Society, when we saw them in June, had a lot of rough edges, but boy, we knew they'd work them out, and they have in masterful fashion.
They get my vote for most improved since June, that's for sure.
Incredible percussion section, great contribution from the color guard. Really good stuff tonight.
7-time champion, Will.
And of course, started the show in those black capes, giving them kind of an ethereal feel.
Percussion 6th last night.
Again, a Cavalier color guard, always physical, always dynamic.
Boy, they used their musical book as such a vehicle for their visual program, don't they?
Yes, they do. Another big ovation now as two of our Midwest corps come out here. The Bluecoats from Canton, Ohio. They were in search of America tonight. I think they found it.
They tied last night.
They did.
They tied with Phantom Regiment.
Bluecoats and Phantom were dead tied even.
General Effect Brass and Percussion were each 5th last night in semis.
Another strong contribution from a percussion section with the Bluecoats.
Oh, absolutely.
Love the beginning of this show.
Oh yeah, this is one of my favorite openings of any show that we have here.
And I love the end too.
The Old Glory formation.
And then it waves.
I have a feeling, Steve, that the kids are going to be very happy to not have to put those bleachers together.
No more bleachers. They won't want to see any more bleachers for a long time.
I saw a bonfire outside. I'm not sure.
Quite the interesting color guard attire, as you see.
Again, that theme of diversity coming out, every single member having a different uniform, a different outfit, and then you have the rest of the corps kind of serving as the traditional marching band.
So we have been blued, and now the Phantom Regiment from Rockford, Illinois, with that wonderfully stylish and elegant color guard, telling the storybook fairy tale tonight. And you can't have a fairy tale unless you open the book, right, to read it. This is one of the great visual effects in that Phantom show. Now, if you missed it, watch this as the book unfolds and the pages open. Some masterful drill writing here.
Jamie Thompson, always the master.
It's great stuff. And you're right about the guard, Steve. I mean, they're so elegant and such a wonderful performing color guard. Very enjoyable to watch.
Coming the text on the page here.
It's great. Guard was 4th last night, general effect 5th.
And from there, they weave the tale with beautiful music and a brass line that took Elgar's Enigma variations and made some beautiful music with it. Here we go.
Listen to this.
That ovation for the Santa Clara Vanguard. The fans have been in love with this corps all season long. The just brilliant way that they put Les Mis on the field. You can't help but be captivated and pulled in. And there's, you know, it's elaborate, it's well coordinated, but they say to heck with subtlety. When they're ready to hit you with a punch, they line up, put it in a company front, and you know what's coming, and you just bask in it.
The arranger, J.D. Shaw, did a masterful job in stringing together all these wonderful tunes.
Let's just listen to this. Beautiful. Santa Clara Vanguard.
What a show.
Man, that may be my favorite program of the year, but it just brought the house down. And they have been closing ground on these guys, the Cadets, but we thought in the booth this might be the night that Santa Clara caught them, and then the Cadets come out and they're just on fire. What a drum line.
Drumline was first last night in semis. It would not surprise me either way tonight, Steve. Both corps were magnificent.
Just incredible. This was the first corps I watched from field level tonight, and just the consistency from individual to individual, it's just overwhelming.
Of course, the big props characterizing the Cadet show all year long, the towers.
Boy, this drum line played, my goodness, and moved.
Yeah, that's a slow move in the scheme of that show.
Bravo.
Impressive. Cadets coming in seeded 3rd out of the semifinals, fighting for the medals. We're up in the medal division now. The gold, silver, and bronze at stake in that top 3.
Love the way they use the colors on their towers to constantly change the palette of the stage and the shape of the stage.
Is that not a gorgeous picture?
My goodness.
Yeah, what a crowd. And it's almost looked like this from the very second the doors open today. This crowd has been here all day.
California, the Blue Devils.
Here come the defending champions, the Blue Devils, and I'll tell you what, you know finals night, you're going to get their best. These guys are so finely honed, so skilled in performance, they don't choke. There's no way about that. And they were on their game tonight.
They certainly were. You want to talk about a 6-year run for one drum corps? 4 golds, 2 silvers in the last 6 years. That's unbelievable.
Absolutely incredible.
The rite of spring, or the rewrite of spring.
Again, another corps that's just fascinating to watch from the sideline, how hard they're working all the time.
Ambitious color guard work. Here's the big finish now of Rite of Spring.
So many layers to this show, just incredible.
And it ended with a sacrifice, a phantom move. We had bloodshed from the Blue Devils. Controversial when Stravinsky debuted 100 years ago. It has been controversial this drum corps season as well. Is it enough to win?
Undeniable how good they are. Undeniable about how well they perform.
In every area.
Absolutely.
There is no weakness.
And the stat that we've been talking about all week, they've never been below 5th place since 1975. It's almost, I almost can't believe I'm saying those words. That's such an astonishing stat.
Well, the other thing about them is they've kept that instructional staff together for decades, really.
Yes, virtually unchanged.
So the consistency is right there from the get-go.
Yeah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know?
Yeah. If it ain't broke, don't break it. Well, we only have one more to go, and that was the corps that scored the win in last night's semis, and when they get announced, this place is going to erupt. Carolina Crown, E equals MC squared. There they come. Listen to this crowd.
From Fort Hill, South Carolina, Carolina Crown.
This has been 2008 all over again. This crowd has been trying to propel this corps forward, trying to will them to win. Crown came out and performed and gave it everything they had tonight. This is the finish of the show. That last little move into the wormhole, he went and came out the other side with Eternal Love. And we were all field level for that, guys, and I don't think my hearing's quite back yet. What a brass sound.
It's just incredible. Again, the minutest of minute details that they can pull out in performance from the brass, from the percussion. So many great things tonight from field level.
Brilliant arranging on all levels.
Well, you said something to somebody last night, Dennis, that the mark of excellence is taking incredibly difficult stuff and making it look easy.
Making it look easy, and they do that.
Oh, yeah, baby, they do. So the scene has been set. Do the Blue Devils repeat, or do we put a first-time name on that championship trophy? This is a treat here that the fans have been waiting for as well. The massed horn lines are going to play America the Beautiful as led by the drum majors of the Blue Devils. I'd say we'll get a few decibels out of this aggregation.
Personal escort.
Yeah. Be a great climax to just a phenomenal week here in Indianapolis. We had a great series of events earlier today. The drumline battle was a big success. People all over Georgia Street.
It's packed.
And then the Sound Sport event out in front of the stadium. The Star United group won that with a wonderful performance. Appalachian Spring. They'll be going on to DCA in the Small Corps Championships.
Yep, Labor Day weekend
Day.
in
So
Annapolis.
Yep. So that having those two new initiatives get us going today on Championship Finals Day was something special, and that's only going to grow. Here we go. My goosebumps have goosebumps. What a sound in this stadium, just resonating. What a neat arrangement, too.
It's beautiful.
I love the beginning of that. Scores are coming up next. We're also going to have the announcement of the Caption Awards. Dennis, we honor a lot of great names in these Caption Awards as well. People have had a huge hand in the musical development of this activity.
Well, the Percussion Award is named for the late Fred Sanford, who in the early mid-'70s into the '80s was certainly the leading figure in terms of percussion arranging and education, and really was the man, in my opinion, responsible for making drum corps percussion acceptable in music education circles.
Young Person's Guide to the Orchestra. That was Fred's bellwether.
Oh, my goodness.
Drum majors.
So we honor many people. Here we go. The call for the drum majors now, front and center. This is highly anticipated, and I got to tell you, I'm right here on the edge of my seat with everybody else. We are I'm just looking back at these stands, and more people than usual staying put for these scores in this finale. The winning corps will take the field and do its performance once again in an encore. That's always a treat to look forward to as well. Did our age-out ceremony last night for everybody hitting that magic mark where
Each
they.
of Drum Corps International's elite ensembles have been hard at work this week.
All right, here we go. Brant Crocker, our
perfecting
stadium
their
announcer.
final performances of the 2013 Drum Corps International Summer Tour. Please direct your attention to the video boards, and let's take one final look at the 2013 World Championships. Ladies and gentlemen, before we announce the results of tonight's competition, Drum Corps International would like you to join them in showing appreciation to the parents and family members of our performers this evening for their encouragement and support of the pursuit of excellence. We'd also like to thank the band directors, music teachers, and color guard instructors all over the world who are responsible for the education and development of the outstanding young men and women who perform for you this evening. Music is an important part of a quality education for students of all ages. We urge you to visit supportmusic.com and learn how to keep music education programs strong in your community. Thank you. Here are the results of tonight's competition. In 12th place, with a score of 85.45, 85.45, the Blue Stars. Named for the former director of the Troopers and founding member of Drum Corps International who passed away in 1994, the Jim Jones Leadership Award is given each year to one world and one open class drum major who exhibits unparalleled leadership qualities. Chosen by a committee of DCI Hall of Fame members and presented by DCI Hall of Fame member Gene Matrustelli, this year's World Class Award goes to Dean Patterson of Phantom Regiment. In 11th place with a score of 86.4, 86.4, Spirit of Atlanta. In 10th place with a score of 87.75, 87.75, the Blue Knights. The Drum Corps International Caption Awards are determined by averaging the scores of prelims, semifinals, and finals. The George Zingali Award for Best Color Guard goes to the Blue Devils. In 9th place, and a score of 90.1, 90.10, the Madison Scouts. The John Brazale Best Visual Performance Award goes to Carolina Crown. In an 8th place, with a score of 90.4, 90.4, the Boston Crusaders. The Jim Ott Award for Best Brass Performance, presented by Bonnie Ott, goes to Carolina Crown. In 7th place, with a score of 90.50, 90.50, the Cavaliers. The Fred Sanford Award for Best Percussion Performance, presented by Laura Autry and Fred Morris, goes to the Cadets. In 6th place, with a score of 93.25, 93.25, Phantom Regiment. The Angelica Award for Best Overall General Effect goes to Carolina Crown. In 5th place, and a score of 93.35, 93.35, the Bluecoats. In 4th place, and a score of 96.85, 96.85, the Santa Clara Vanguard. Receiving the bronze medal with a score of 96.95, 96.95, the Cadets. Receiving the silver medal with a score of 98.05, 98.05, the Blue Devils. Receiving the gold medal and recipient of the Founders Trophy, the 2013 Drum Corps International World Champion with a score of 98.3, 98.3, Carolina Crown. Presenting the Founders Trophy, DCI Executive Director Dan Atchison.
Oh my goodness. What a night, what a thrill. The crowd reacted as we anticipated. On their feet, look at the tears. I could not be happier for this organization and those kids. A brand new name, the first time ever going on that DCI Founders Trophy. Carolina Crown 2013 Drum Corps International World Champions. Here's Will with the winning drum major.
All right, guys. I am here with Drum Major Linda Harvey of World Champion Carolina Crown. What does that feel like, Linda?
Absolutely incredible. It's such an amazing feeling to get to be at this point.
Talk about the journey of this week. You come into championship week, your corps has never won a championship before, and you're just right on the cusp. How did this corps work this last week?
They worked their butts off. They started this journey together. We finished here together all the way to the end, never turning back, never stopped fighting.
Incredible performance. Congratulations, Carolina Crown.
Thank you.
Tears of joy.
Once again, congratulations to all.
Absolutely, Brent. Congratulations to all 12 corps out here tonight. But there's something special about witnessing history, and that handshake is something. These corps started head-to-head, Dennis. Crown took the unusual step of going west and competing in California from the get-go. So the Devils and Crown have been banging heads since June.
Back and forth all season long.
Crown took the lead early on. Then the Devils came on and took command. And then Crown fought their way back. We came in here in the semifinals, or the prelims rather. Blue Devils won it. Carolina came back to take the semis, and tonight, here you see it. And let's study these numbers together for a moment here as we break down GE Visual and Music. We figured when Crown won the GE award, that usually is an indicator, but Percussion has been a challenge for them. It's no secret, and that spread had to be reasonable. Cadets won Percussion, Dennis, but Crown apparently was close enough to prevail.
Well, don't forget, the Caption Awards are averaged 3 nights.
Right.
So it's very hard to tell exactly what happened tonight just by the Caption Awards.
25 100ths of a point, the spread to win. Look at what happened with the Cadets and Santa Clara. Well, we just lost that page, but they were nip and tuck, and just a 10th. We knew that Santa Clara had been creeping up on the Cadets. Here we go, and they just about got them. Cadets winning the bronze by a 10th of a point tonight. Bluecoats and Phantom Regiment, also a 10th of a point separation there. They tied last night.
Tied last night.
So Bluecoats eke that, then drop down to the next group. Cavaliers and Boston, just a 10th of a point apart. And Madison, just 3/10 behind them. There was disappointment here when they announced Madison in 9th. But look at how close those 3 corps were. So we have a lot of stories within the story. But the big story is the DCI trophies going back to Carolina. How about that? I am so happy for Kevin Smith, Doug Madar, Steve Tant, those founding fathers of Carolina Crown, who started with this corps in a dream so many years ago. A lot of Spirit of Atlanta veterans said, we need a drum corps here in the Carolinas. So they set this thing in motion. And it's all come together tonight in a world championship against one heck of a competitor, the Blue Devils, finishing with the silver. What a great night here. What a great week it has been in Indianapolis and Lucas Oil Stadium. Dennis, you've been around a long time. Put a bow on this one.
Steve, I've been to every single DCI World Championship. I've never heard a crowd quite like this. I've never seen a group of kids perform in all the corps at this level. And I must say this, Carolina Crown's brass ensemble is the finest I've ever heard, ever.
And that's coming from a drum guy.
Yeah, go
But
figure.
coming from a brass guy, I'm right there with him. It's been a great night, folks, a great week. Thanks for joining us on this first ever DCI Finals webcast. I hope we delivered for you. The Corps certainly did. And I can't wait till next year. We're going to be right back here in Indy. You might want to start looking into those tickets now. Thanks, everybody. I'm Steve Rondinero, delighted to be your host for a 35th year, and so proud of these drum and bugle corps of Drum Corps International. Good night, everybody.